right. So Biden is agreeing now to a debate. Here's how Trump's going to win that. Trump's going to win that by focusing on the issues that matter the most. Pocketbook issues. Everybody knows how much more expensive everything is. Joe Biden's going to sit there and try and tell you that he inherited 9% inflation from Donald Trump. That's not true. He said it like twice in the last few days. I mean, he's just making stuff up. I know he's old and everything, but this is getting to be too much. And guess what? In this day and age, we got tape and recordings of everything, Joey. You know what? You can't get away with that. And neither can KJP. She was called out on this allegation that somehow he inherited 9% inflation. No, he inherited 1.4%. Watch her response.
I'm going to ask you about how the president talks about inflation. So for 2 times over the past 2 weeks, the president said inflation was 9% when he came into office. Is the president misleading Americans on that, or does he just not realize that inflation was 1.4% when he came
So, you know, and thank you for the question, because I know that we got a lot of incoming on this yesterday. And look, what the president was, the point that he was making is that the factors that caused inflation was in place when he walked into the administration, when he took office. As you know, the pandemic caused inflation around the world to be by disrupting our economy and breaking our supply chains. As you know, we had to act quickly on dealing with the supply chain. He put together a task force. You saw the president do that.
Yeah. And you sat there and said it was transitory inflation over and over and over again. The supply chains would be fixed. And I told you, and some others like Larry Summers, who's pretty smart, former head of the National Council of Economic Advisors under Joe Biden, former Treasury Secretary under Clinton, former head of Harvard University back in the day when Harvard was Harvard. You know, I beat him to it, but he eventually came around too and said that, listen, this is going to be bad. Like, you have too much money printing. And that's what Joe did. He came in and he offered a 3rd stimulus check. I mean, I was questioning Trump's 2nd stimulus check. You can't put that much money into the economy, not when the Federal Reserve is doing its thing too. Well, what did they do? They printed, and they caused the inflation that you are now dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. That 9%, that happened under Joe Biden. 1.4% was what we were looking at, but Joe was irresponsible. He kept that money spigot open. He gave you a 3rd stimulus check, and then he went forward with Chuck Schumer, and they passed more spending. The economy can't handle that on top of the Federal Reserve. It's pathetic. It's why, you know what? The one thing that's holding up, I'm telling you, diversify. It's gold. Gold hitting new highs. And you know what? It makes all the sense in the world, because when you're dealing with that much inflation, how do you make sure that your dollars are still worth something? Gold is one of the ways that you can do this. Now, I'm not your financial advisor, but I can tell you in my own personal life, I do invest in gold, and I'm happy I do. I mean, the market's doing great today, but you know what? There's days when it's not doing great, and that's when you really want the gold. The other reason you actually want gold, even in an environment where the market moves higher, is because this is one way that I think you can help preserve the value of your portfolio, preserve the value of your dollars. If you're interested in investing in gold or silver, which, by the way, silver is one of those things that does mimic gold a bit, and I think because of its lower price point is easier to access for some people. Go over to, well, I'm going to give you a new URL. Drew, you don't even know about this. These are our friends at American Heart for Gold. How do you like this, guys? Trish Loves Gold. You can remember that, right? TrishLovesGold.com. Or you can text them. I think we have, there we go. Okay. By the way, this is a great deal. You can actually get up to $15,000 worth of free silver. Amazing. Up to $15,000 in free silver if you buy with them. Go call 1-844-495-1115 if you use my name. So if you use my name, Trish, special deal for the viewers on this show, because you know how much I like gold. Just go to TrishLovesGold.com or text Trish, Trish, to 65532 to get up to $15,000 of free silver. Again, Trish to 65532. Really amazing company. I can't wait. I think either tomorrow or Monday, we do have the president of the company, Max Baker, on the show, and he's going to talk to us a lot about central banks and why central banks are buying gold right now. I can wonk out on this stuff like nobody's business. 2 things, opera and gold. So go to TrishLovesGold.com.